everybody, and welcome to Malt Muser Whiskey Reviews. I am Eric. I'm the bar for today, a world whiskey coming from India, Amrut Fusion Single Malt Whiskey. As always here on the channel, nose taste finish review of this dram is coming your way. I will tell you a bit about the value, give you my final thoughts, a final score, and leave you with a malt musing. But first, take a second, smash that subscribe button. I'm going to make sure you don't miss these reviews. They come every Friday here on YouTube. I also have a Tuesday happy hour every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern time. We'd love to see you in the chat. Amrut Fusion. Well, first and foremost, Amrut, probably the most popular distillery coming out of the increasingly exciting whiskey country, whiskey producing country, I should say, of India. Amrut, they have been around, God, I mean, I would say quite some time now, at least maybe 15 years, if not longer. No, try 1948, a bit longer than 15 years. You've been finding them in the States, however, for maybe around that time. What we are looking at here is a non-age statement single malt whiskey. As far as the tail of the tape goes, this is the bottle, 50% ABV. It says right here on the whiskey itself, kidding, it's on the tube, but better than nothing, right? Says that this is not chill filtered and a natural color. There is no age statement, as I mentioned, so 50% ABV, that's great. NAS, there might be a reason for that. We'll talk more about that in a second. Non-chill filtered natural color, that is great. Now, regarding the age statement on this, now, of course, when it comes to single malts, bourbons for that matter, you like to see age statements. In fact, it's one of the things that draws me to a whiskey is if they actually tell you how old the youngest juice in the whiskey is, which is what an age statement is. There can be older whiskey than the age statement, but the age statement has to say the youngest whiskey in the bottle. When it comes to distilleries like Amrut in India, or equivalent maybe Kavalan over in Taiwan, you're really dealing with whiskeys that are aging in a very tropical climate, and in the case of Amrut, a very high elevation. All of this leads to a higher loss each year due to evaporation in the barrels, called the angel share. So you're also going to have more active maturation happening quicker because those casks breathing in and out a lot more because of the hotter temperatures and humidity. So you are basically looking at whiskeys that if they put an age statement on this, maybe it would be 5 years, maybe it would be 6. As a rule, you usually don't see the age statements on these whiskeys coming out of India, and that's one of the reasons they do it. I would say when it comes to these, it's not necessarily an indication of the quality of the juice you're getting, which we will talk about shortly. Last thing I want to mention is why this is called Fusion. First of all, a nice tin that this comes in. So the reason this is called Fusion is it is fusing together Himalayan grown malt from India with barley, with peated malted barley brought in from Scotland. It is aged in oak barrels, I'm assuming all ex-bourbon. And it is, the distillation and the aging is happening about 3,000 feet above sea level. So there you go. That is the Amrut Fusion in a nutshell. Let's get some of this in the glass and talk about the juice itself. So, as I said, we are looking at a natural color here, which is very exciting. There it is. Okay. On the nose. Neat. It is spice, savory, and fruit sweetness. The sweetness itself is raisins, plum, dark fruits. There is a nice kind of molasses, vanilla coming through here as well. Then you have this nice, slightly aggressive peated barley note. It is not a smoky whiskey. It is not even that peated. It's just giving this a little bit more character, which I'm quite enjoying on the nose. You do pick up a lot of complexity, lots of different kind of cereal grain barley notes. That malt really does shine here, even with the heavy cask influence that you're picking up. There's a bit of orange and just some kind of nice lingering spices. Quite nice. Let's give it a taste. Solange. Mm. And the Whiskey cat has just jumped up. What do you think about the fusion? We won't let that affect our score. Okay, this is a rich whiskey, full flavor, full body, nice development, arrives sweet with a little bit of spice, barrel oak comes through as it develops, plum sweetness, that candy orange sweetness, slight red fruit, a bit of that peated barley just in the background, giving it a slight, almost ashiness, very, very slight, bit of kind of a nutmeg type spice, a little bit of cinnamon, nice long finish. If you like a sweet, savory dram, this one will definitely tick those boxes for you. A little more sip neat here. Rich, complex but approachable. Medium long finish too. Well, the vanilla is really kicked up. Okay, let's put some water on this. Again, a nice 50% ABV on this one. I'm going to do about 4 drops. Now, it's going to be interesting to see what water does to this. It's either going to really expose the youth of this whiskey, or it's going to pop some more of these kind of subtler notes that I was picking up on the nose. Neat. Let's check it out. A bit more of the latter. You're getting a nice fruit note. The vanilla is there. Really enjoying the nose. Strawberry, maybe a little bit of tropical fruit. And a bit of citrus coming through here. Okay, here we go. A bit lighter, a bit more savory, a bit spicier. But I would say, generally speaking, I mean, this was, despite that 50% ABV, it's still relatively palatable, not a lot of heat. It's maybe a little bit hotter with water, to be honest. So interesting contrast here, a bit more lemon lime coming through. I actually found this to be a little bit more enjoyable, neat, as funny as that may sound. So value time. And I am definitely bullish on this when it comes to value. This is not an exclusive Whiskey by any stretch. You can find this anywhere around the United States here in 2022. And it is going for a wonderful price. You'll find this for right around, $60, $65. 50% ABV, non-chill filtered whiskey, naturally colored whiskey. You're just not going to find a lot of great values quite as good as this one. I am going to give this a high mark for its value. Final thoughts, though. Let's get into it. I'm a big fan of this whiskey. As far as a world whiskey is concerned, it does have some of this provincial, characterful notes of the Indian single malt whiskeys that you can pick up here. But that also is met with a really nice bold cask flavor. It is bottled at a high ABV, but it's not hot. You get a bit of that peated malted barley just in the background from Scotland that's just giving this a little bit more character still. But this is honestly one of the more accessible and exciting drams that I've had out of the Amrut range. And it comes at a price that's super affordable. This has won numerous awards going back into 2019 on a couple of these. Whiskey of the World Awards, Gold in 2017, et cetera, et cetera. World Whiskey of the Year, backed by Malt Advocate, 2011, and the guy who we won't name is Whiskey Bible, 97 points. So a lot of high praise and worthy so for the Amrut Fusion. As I said, great value, great presentation here. I think this is just one of those whiskeys you need to have on your shelf if you're looking to explore some malts outside of Scotland. I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5, which means I recommend you go out and get yourself a bottle. Big fan of the Amrut Fusion, and I think you will be too. 4 out of 5. There you go. With that, I'm going to have myself another dram of this, because once it's out, you really can't not stop drinking it. It's just delicious. Tell me your thoughts. Have you had this one before? What do you think? Is this a whiskey that you are familiar with? Anything else from Amrut? Would love to hear what you got to say down in the comments section. And with that, I will kick you to your malt musing, and I'll see you next time here on Malt Muser Whiskey Reviews. So much.